hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jaylee. This is Jaylee's Corner. This is my review for the Real Housewives of Potomac. Okay, season 6, episode 14. Yeah. Okay, look, we already know people like who they like. We already know people don't like who they don't like. Okay, I told y'all last time, I'm going to repeat it today at the beginning of the video. I'm not fussing or disagreeing or debating with anybody based on my opinion of this show and of the people, but please feel free to have your own comments, your own opinions in the comment section. Okay, feel welcome to say what you feel, but do not feel the need to tell me how I am wrong on my opinion. I love you all. Okay, now let's go from there. Do not forget to do the thing that I ask you to do every single time, which is to subscribe to my channel to become a whole JayBird, boom, dun, and all that goodness and stuff. Do not forget to also like this video, comment in the comment section. You can also hit the share button and share it on your social media. You can always relax. Okay, please relax. Please relax. Okay, release and release. Center yourself and everyone around you. Inhale and exhale because it helps us all to stay calm, cool, and collected, no matter what our opinions are on this TV show of people who we don't know in person. Yeah. Okay. I want you to also follow me on social media. On IG, it is J_Lees_Corner. On Twitter, it is just JayLeesCorner. And make sure to like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. I am here, okay? But as always, my signal's going in and out. Look, StreamYard has been getting worse and worse and worse, okay? So when it pops out, I'm going to probably pop off the screen. So, yeah, let's see how it goes. So this episode, I feel like it was a lot on all sides, okay? The conversation Chris is having with Candace, the conversation that Karen and Wyndham is having with Mia. G acting crazy and sticking his tongue out at Karen, which is confusing to me. And just, Robert and Giselle showing up. So a lot happened around here. So let's go thing by thing. This may be a long video, maybe like 30 or so minutes. So again, just have a seat, have a good time, and put on your seatbelts, okay? So again, the ladies. We have them up here because I really did not feel like getting scene by scene by scene because it was too much, too much, too much. But I have something, okay? Boom. So the fight is continuing with I'm sorry, with Mia and with Candace. They're in the kitchen. Candace is already crying. You're not going. I'm like, girl. My issue again is I want Candace to not be no crybaby. Okay, I want Candace to be out here fussing and fighting with folk and not crying the next moment, playing victim to whatever was said or done to her in retaliation to what she probably did to somebody else. Okay, so everyone is trying to tell Candace, girl, calm down. Okay, calm down. Because at this point, Mia has already talked the static back at Candace, and let's not distort the things. Candace threw food at Mia first. It does not matter if she threw 2 crumbs or a whole bowl. You threw something at someone first. It does not matter if they threw back more at you. As y'all like I said, you can't say something to somebody and get pissed on how they respond. You can't throw 2 croutons at me, bitch, and get upset if I throw a whole salad at you. But let's move on. Boom. Okay, so again, in the kitchen, there's like, Candace, calm down, because Candace to me is the most hype. Mia is also hype, but Mia's also calm because Mia's walking away with G. Because again, she's like, I'm leaving, I've had this bullshit, blah, 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 blah. Okay, and Candace is like, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. And she's saying that to basically to Ashley and to Karen. I think a little bit maybe to Wendy, but mainly to Karen, who's telling her, calm down. You don't know her mom's story? You know her mom's story, okay? And Candace, I don't care. I don't care. Okay. Mia come back in, and I'm like, Mia, Mama, please leave. Okay. At this point, you see Candace is in full tantrum. Mode. She's being a full big baby. Okay. And my thing is, Candace can have a rational conversation with somebody without crying or yelling or wanting to fight and have a fighting type of conversation. Um, if Candace could have an adult conversation with somebody and not act like a child, like a toddler, I'll be fine because she can at least hold a conversation. But in each instance with Mia, she's not trying to have any kind of constructive conversation. Even if Mia saying your video with low budget hurts you, you need to be able to have that conversation constructively. And she doesn't do that. Okay, again, that's her being a toddler. So when Mia come back in, you know, it's like my mom is recovering drug addict or whatever, and I'm very proud of who she is. And I'm like, okay, Mia, cool, but Candace don't get no fucks. Mia, leave, not the house, leave the kitchen. Okay, let them handle the baby in there, have a little fit, have a little a temper tantrum. So Candace asked me saying that about her mom. I don't care. I don't care while tossing and knocking over whatever is on the counter in front of her. Now Mia also broke some kind of glass too. But again, both Mia and Candace, you know, knocked shit around, threw shit around, and it was breaking stuff. I will say I feel like Candace tossed around and threw more stuff than Mia. Mia made a mess with that salad. I feel like everything else was more Candace knocking shit around because she's a baby. Anyway, so I don't really care. Now, because Candace was a baby in real, I'm like, you're a real life baby. Having a tantrum because someone called your video low budget and you don't want to have that conversation about how that made you feel. If you can emote your emotions constructively, I think more people will like you, Candace, but you're a fucking child. Okay? And Mia then tells her, you're acting like a spoiled brat. You need therapy. And then she walks away. Again, she is acting like a spoiled brat and she does need therapy because you don't have to fight about everything. You know what I'm saying? And I think people forget the reason most folks don't like Candace for that reason is never a conversation. It's a shady, mean spirited conversation back and forth. And it's not a constructive conversation or whatever. So Mia says to G Kyle, you know what I'm saying, she does not want to uh she just doesn't want to be there, you know, if this is how Canada will act, she wants to leave. And he's like, you know, if you want to leave, let's go. And I like that Mia said, I have too much to lose if I lose my temper. Meaning she's fucking with me. And she gonna push me to the edge. And when she do, I have more to lose than her. The same shit with Monique. Okay, but let's not go there. Okay, now Candace again tells them how Mia needs to leave. You know, Mia should go. She should leave. She should get out. Her and her big feet. And I'm like, here we go. And so so what if she has mommy issues? So what? How does she not know if I have issues being low budget? Candace, if you did, if you did, why could you not have a conversation like a fucking adult and emote what hurt you? It's the weirdest shit that she's saying. Well, who cares about what me going through? What about me? Fine. Well, sit down and have a conversation. Because if you did, I don't think it'd be an issue. But no, you want to be a baby. Me. Things so sad. Me. I'm like, get out my damn face. Anyway, so Wendy then has to go get the husband because again, G's like gonna leave with Mia and things is going crazy. Candace is acting like a goddamn child, so they need Chris to get her. Now again, G like if my wife leaving, I'm leaving. Like if she wants to go, I want to. I didn't want to come in the first damn place. If she wants to leave, we leave it. Okay, together. And the ladies then talk to Mia who they just tell her, you know, don't leave. You know what I'm saying? Do not remember who you are. Okay, do not let her push you out. Like, don't let her have the power over you to make you feel cheap. Okay, and me like well, I don't feel that way. However, if anyone is that ruthless in their conversation and what they say, they can put me in that space, and I don't want to go there. Okay, and Abby did chimes in say, you know, well, Candace always does throw blows, and she does, but Abby be quiet anyway. So me again, it's like, you know, you can talk about me all day. You know, talk about me all you want. I don't care if she's saying things about me. However, just don't speak on my mom. Okay, because she's worked hard to get what she is. And I know a lot of people are saying, you know, well, people, you know, she can't blame Candace if her mom, you know, hasn't, you know, whatever, because she brought her on the show. I feel like there's nothing wrong with Mia having her mom on the show because they have to have that conversation. But sometimes addicts feel like if somebody else is attacking them for it can make them feel bad. But we should not just shun and hide them away. You just hope people would have respect for someone's parent who has went through things and laugh or whatever. And also, I seen the thing about Mia, when she was on an interview like 2 years ago for her clinic, the chiropractic clinic, and she was saying that when she was, because her childhood was so bad, so traumatic, she was addicted to pain pills or opioids or whatever, and she fucking OD'd. So again, people don't get the reason she probably acts how she acts and is as proud of where she is based on what she's been through. I think so many people forget people sometimes go through hell and they don't wear that on their sleeve, and then people come at them, and then just for different reasons. And I feel like Mia is very much so an open book based on the interview from 2 years. She was just as open then as she is now. But again, I do think she also sometimes put her foot in her mouth. But I don't think Mia's a bad person, and that's what gets on my nerve. Is people act like she's a bad person, and she isn't to me. Okay, but I'm gonna leave that be too. But she brings up how like my mom has worked her ass off or whatever. She has always talked to me about how there's not a day that goes by where she doesn't think about getting high, because that's a true addict. You're never really healed or fixed when you stop doing drugs. It's just every day is one more day that you did not do it. It doesn't mean that tomorrow won't be a relapse day. But again, whatever. Um, I appreciate Mia saying like my mom wasn't a mom to me back then. Or if I had to, saying I had a really, really bad life and I'd be down if I let a little chihuahua take that from her based on her mouth. And again, I don't want Mia to blame Candace if her mom relapses, but I also can get her saying, bitch, just don't speak of my mama. Period. Leave her be because she ain't fucking with you. I can like that. Okay. Anyway, um, when a scholar bring up how I think the low budget comment, really, what I'm saying, hurt her feelings or whatever. And me said, okay, well, she could have told me that, okay? Because when I was first starting out, everything was low budget. We were trying to save money everywhere, and now I'm making like 450 grand like a month or whatever. So or however long, 450,000, whatever, how many times. And a scholar was like, well, can we just not talk about business? Like, can this be like a fun trip, whatever, and no business? Fine. I agree, Mia, stop bringing up your business. We now know how successful you are. Let's leave that be and see what else can happen from there. Now, Chris takes Candace outside because she's a child. Chris took Candace out. You at a church or a funeral or some kind of event, and kids is just crying, yeah, yeah, and you have to take them outside of the venue to like the bathroom, whatever. If you don't stop crying, Candace is a child being taken out of a fucking church who's crying through the sermon. Okay, that's what she is. And Chris like, look. And the funny part was Candace when she seen Chris, I'm gonna get in trouble. He's gonna cuss me out, and he did. Um, her saying, well, Mia threw salad at me. He's like, well, why? Well, because I threw like two pieces of things at her. He was like, okay, well, that's that's why she did that or whatever. And to me, that's some caring shit because you did something, you threw something at her. And your response to your husband is, well, she threw something at me. No, you threw something at her first. It does not matter how much of it you threw. You did something and acted as if what someone did back to you was the worst thing. Again, on that bullshit. Because again, both Mia and Candace was both fussing. Both of y'all. It's not just her, it's not just you. It's both of y'all. But again, I don't like Candace. And I just feel like she has a pattern of fussing with folks because she's childish. And I really wish she could grow up. I do feel like if Candace wasn't trying to fuss with Mia, they could have a conversation. If anybody else can have a conversation with Mia, why can't Candace? Because she's a child. Anyway, Chris is like, look, because Candace then said, I told her the pimp and his concubine should leave. He's like, stop that shit. Cut that shit out, okay? Because, it's just done. Blah, 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 blah. And when Candace then said, since day one, Mia want to smoke with me. So I gave her that smoke. Again, Candace has a habit of wanting to start shit. And then when it happens, she out here crying with goddamn tissue to her husband like a fucking baby. So my disdain for Candace comes from that. Not from her mouth that much, okay, but from the fact that she do shit that she cannot back up. Okay, you done sat up here in that girl face and fuss and fuss and fuss and fuss. Do shit, do shit, do shit. Finish it. You done all these things, and now look at you outside crying. She was also in the kitchen crying here too, face full of dry ass, makeup ass tears, okay, down her face. Because again, she's doing things that she then cry about later because she's a fucking baby, okay? And Chris like, look, I need you, or someone has to be the bigger person. Someone has to shut up. Okay, because if you're saying that she will project her insecurities onto you when you fight like how you do, it makes you look insecure too. It makes you look stupid. And I'm not, and she don't even get it. You're fighting so hard because you feel what she's saying is true. You are low budget. The video was low budget, but it doesn't make it a bad thing. A low budget video can still come out well. But no, you want to fuss about the bull of the shit. So I'm gonna let that be. Okay. Anyway, so he also tells her how, someone has to shut up. Okay, so that the fighting doesn't persist. Well, tell her to shut up. He's like, look, will you be quiet? Will it be you? Okay, because when you fuss and you don't be quiet and you keep talking about it, it makes it more true. It makes it look like it's bothering you, and it does. And it does. And he then said to her, I need you to go in there and just say to Mia, I won't disrespect you. Don't disrespect me. And that's it. She couldn't even go in there and do that. And my thing is, that's not saying sorry. That's saying, you know what, we two adult women, we're gonna leave it be. We're gonna leave it where it is. Don't come at me. I won't come at you and leave it there. But no, she's a baby. Yeah. Anyway, so, who else? What else happened? I'm trying to see my notes because sometimes I can't see stuff on my computer. So we do see G and Mia and Karen and Ashley having a conversation. Look, G is drunk because G keep licking his tongue out at Karen. I'm like, G, stop doing that. G, stop being a creepy ass old man. Okay, don't do that. But I'm like, G is drunk and needs a fucking nap. Okay, in the minute we seen him go to the room, he went to sleep because he's a drunk ass old man. Anyway, so we do see them kind of discussing Mia, I mean no, discussing Candace or whatever, and how Candace said that they met like on the curb or whatever. And G said, no, I met her at the strip club, yes. She was an entertainer or whatever. I saw her the first time and then the second time or whatever, and then I was paying for her time for the talk. And me said he paid $10,000. I'm like, $10,000 for a conversation, girl. If you like it, I love it. So we do see a little thing of Chris in the house because everybody didn't calm down now, whatever. So Chris is trying to clean up the mess in the kitchen that everybody made. And when Ashley comes in, they have a quick little conversation or whatever. It's him saying that, how kids look really, really well on her. Congrats on baby number two, even though, her and Candace don't get along, and him and Michael don't get along. So even though none of us really get along, congrats on the kids. And when he said, okay, but your wife did call me wide body. But thank you. And Chris, you know what? She used a lot of words. My bad. Again, Chris has to consistently apologize for his wife. And that's crazy to me. To keep having to say, I'm sorry, my wife's crazy. I am sorry, my wife, he's fussing with you for whatever the reason may be. Because Chris feels like his wife goes too far. So it'd be weird to me when the fans don't see Candace as an issue when her husband does. Her husband sees his wife as an issue. I mean, he still supports her, yes, but he know his wife goes too far every time. But I'm going to leave that be. Now we do see Giselle and Robin get there because Ashley called them or whatever. Girl, I feel like they wanted to check. They get paid per episode. So again, they want that money. And so when they get there or whatever, and they Giselle foot is in the boot because she broke her toe. And so Chris helps her carry the bags up to the upstairs to their room, and their room was all the way upstairs. And there's a bathroom, which is funny. And why does Robin keep saying she's on a period? I don't need to know that, Robin. Shut up. But when Candace comes in to elaborate on what happened with the fight, and she brings, when Mia was breaking stuff, she threw salad. I'm like, bitch, y'all was both breaking shit and throwing salad. Y'all both did it, not just her. It was you two, okay? And Candace then brings up how, Mia made the whole low blow comment or whatever for the video shoot. So she said her mom was on budget. And when Giselle then said, well, I thought that was out of line too, I'm like, what? What? So Giselle, who I'm looking like, bitch, how am I agreeing with Giselle? But when she said I was going to tell you, I want to talk to you because I also felt like, that was seem too much. I'm saying we do not talk about mothers. And Ken, when they talk about my mom, like my mom has been discussed, and I feel like because your mom be getting involved, like your mom be volunteering information, it's a difference. Like her mom, Mama Joyce on Housewives of Atlanta, some mothers be involved in the bullshit, and that's why the cast speak on them. None of y'all have met me as mom to call her low budget. So for me, I feel like when Giselle said like no one talked about your mom. I mean, no. When she said Mia did not talk about your mom, she was just talking to your mom. You know what I'm saying? That's not the same thing because Candace feel like, well, no, she came from my mom. No, 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 no. She had a conversation with your mama. She did not come for her how you came from mama. And then when Giselle say, Mia was crying because Ashley told them what happened with the conversation. When Mia was crying about it. And I do think Mia crying was less about blaming Candace and more about, I think she just said her mom, is a former drug addict. And not only that, she is a recovering addict too. That she has not talked about on the show yet. Okay, not yet. Anyway, as far as reason. Um, but Candace is trying to not take her role in what happened fully, okay? When they bring up how she was crying, Candace admits, oh my God, was she? Really? Wow. Now she also admitted how she did not know when she first called her mama low budget about the past, but she found out about it. So my thing is the fact that you found out later and you still kept saying it in this instance today, you did it to hurt her because you also said how when you said the first time you saw how she looked hurt and you did not know why. But you then knew and you still were saying it today. Meaning Candace would have known and would have still said it. So she didn't know, she found out and still went there. Okay, so fuck Candace. Okay, anyway, um, we then see them all on the little Sprinter van, and I will say for the Sprinter van, pop back on screen because I think it may be good. I like how they sat Mia and Candace next to each other. I'm like, right, sit the two people who've been fighting right next to each other on the bus. Y'all couldn't put them in other seats. Girl, I'm like, y'all messy. I also like the conversation between Giselle and Karen. When Karen and Giselle are getting along, it's very, very fun. Seeing them in the back seat, joking and laughing because Karen found out today what it means to toss a salad. Okay, she did not know about assing. And so she asked, you know about tossing salads? And she said, well, yeah. Oh, okay. And then Giselle said, well, do you know about teabagging? She's like, no, what's that? And when Karen was explains teabagging, she's like, oh my God, no. I don't think in Karen's younger days, ass eating and ball sucking was like a thing. So I'm not surprised she don't know about, what I'm saying, teabagging and tossing salads, okay? It's just different. Now, G was on the bus sleep, okay? And I'm like, why did y'all wake G up? Let that man be asleep. Let him get some rest or whatever. Because he woke up, well, they woke him up, talking about good vibes only. And then Mia, I think he said GOV, which made Mia say good old vagina. Then G said something about long dick to be held. I'm like, long dick to be held. I'm like, what is going on here? But even seeing Candace and G kind of joke about that was kind of cute. Again, I like when they're all getting along and it's mid-level fun shady shit, okay? And no one's fighting. I think Mia and Candace will probably get along. But girl, who knows when? And why is Robin here? Why is Robin even here? Robin is in the van. I'm on my period. But we don't care about your period. If you look at your period was that heavy, go home. Why did you come? Go come my face. Go home, Robin. Anyway, we do see that in the restaurant. Where is it at? Boom, they're all there, okay, getting food. The men at the table behind them bought a round of shots for them. However, the men's wives were at the other table. They bought shots for the cast, but did not buy shots for their wives. I was like, that's not right. That ain't right. But Wendy did buy the wives drinks too. But again, it was crazy, crazy, crazy. Now everyone is having a good old time. Okay, a good old time is being had by all. Fun, 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 fun. Okay. And Wendy brings up, okay, a toast to forgiveness. Yeah, forgiveness or whatever. And here comes Ashley. Oh God. Ashley then asked Chris how he felt about the fight between Candace and Mia. If he felt it was right, if he felt he wanted to intervene and and stop things or whatever, like how do you feel about what happened? And I was like, why would you do this? So we can for sure say Ashley started this argument. Okay. She started it, even though I don't think her intent was what ended up happening. I still feel like this was not the time to ask this question, but I get the point of her making, like, your wife went through things last season that she said was so traumatizing, but this season she's doing the exact same thing with somebody else. So again, what do you think about your wife's actions? And Chris was like, and I also thought Abby was like, y'all know why I'm here. I am here to stir the pot. To stir the pot. Okay. And Chris said, look, I didn't like it. I did take her in the back, whatever, to have a conversation or whatever. I did cuss her out because I don't subscribe to this bullshit. I'm paraphrasing. And he said I told her what needs to happen. Okay. And that's what it was. Because like y'all can fuss and do what y'all do, but the husband need to be good. Okay. And he then said how he would love to get to a place with Michael that he is with G. Because again, Mia and Kenneth had old fights. However, G and Michael did not have a fight about that. But that's because Ashley husband likes getting involved. You know what I'm saying? Chris, Michael has to get to a point where he doesn't try to get involved for one. But also, Candace has to learn to not say shit about Michael. They both need to leave each other the fuck alone, okay? And let Candace and Abby have their shit and the husbands stay out of it. So Abby brings up how, well, Michael just has opinions, based on how you control yourself and things you do, whatever, the saying that you have about him. And I'm like, this is my thing with that too. I liked how Chris and Ashley were having a civilized conversation because even though it was messy of Ashley to bring this up, I like when people are able to have conversations about shit that needs to be discussed. And when it was just them two talking, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. Okay. And Chris, but I've never said anything about Michael. I'm like, well, it's not true. We do see him bringing up at the reunion how Michael has a history of being disrespectful. He would not allow Michael to disrespect his wife. Cool, cool, cool. That wasn't that bad. Okay. And so I was like, whatever. So Giselle then brings up, well, well, you and Michael have had words. Okay. And both Ashley and Chris agree. Both men have had work with each other. So my thing is this again. We see that the adults can have conversation about things that are a bit touchy. Now, I don't think if Michael was there, this conversation would have went this easy. I do think without him being there, Ash and Chris had a good back and forth. Okay, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. So when Chris say how he's never talked shit about Michael, and Ash say that's true, but your wife has. And I was like, no, no. And that's when the fight started. Okay, and so as he brings up how your wife has said things or whatever, and that's what my husband doesn't like. Candace then jumps in like, oh God, Ashley, why don't you just shut up? She brings up how well, I say things in response to the shit that Michael says. Okay, because Michael called Chris white trash, and then Ashley says to Candace, "Yeah, but you call him a slave driver. You call my husband a slave driver." You know what I'm saying? Candace then says, oh God, Candace says out of her mouth, "Well, yeah, because he drives the slaves." I was like, and this is how we know that Chris is fully aware. Boom. Then his wife goes too far. Giselle's face shows that Candace goes too far. And my thing is, when your husband is saying stop, 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 and you say anything anyway, and he has to drop his head because now he know, fuck, it's finna go left, and I'm going to have to try to either control my wife or contain the fight because I can see this shit going left. But again, Ashley, why did you ask the question in the first place? No, okay. And then again, so you calling me a slave? You know, you have no idea how to be a civil human being. Chris then say, well, to be honest, neither does your husband. I was like, no, things were going great. The conversation was constructive. And then shit, this one left. Okay. And then Chris, I ain't talking to you, I'm talking to your wife. So again, it got messier and messier and messier. And I was like, no, don't do it, no. Okay. And so it went like Ashley brings up how Candace was putting her hand in Mia's face about the fight or whatever, and saying earlier how I went through this last year. So in the flashback from the fight earlier, we see Candace saying to Mia how she did this exact same thing happened last year with Monique. And her issue was Candace is fully aware how her actions made that fight happen. Yet and still she's doing it again this year. Okay. And then, it's basically because we feel like Candace is always plays victim instead of taking ownership of what she did. Okay. But whatever. And so at this point in time, it's like, we all had to go through that fight last year. We all had to deal with different things or whatever. So based on last year, it's like she hasn't learned anything. Honey, Candace then gets mad, and I say she got mad, mad. Honey, she got mad, mad. You played a major role in the fight last year, whatever, and you are a foul, fucked up person. I was like, no. And you see Giselle, like, well, Ashley wasn't even there. Like, Ashley had nothing to do with that fight last season. It got worse and worse and worse and worse. And then Abby brings up how you invited the smoke with Mia trying to have a fight today. So you haven't learned shit from last year. That's the issue. And I'm like, but Ashley, leave it alone. Leave it the fuck alone. Because even confronting Candace and what she did wrong last season and what she's doing wrong this season will only make her fight and be a brat more. She will not accept any part, not 1%, not 10, nothing. She will not, take any part of ownership. And we know that. So there's no point in even starting with her. Okay. And so Candace brings up how, he's pissed off because again, Ashley wrote that statement on behalf of Monique last year or whatever. And so Candace is being Candace. Ashley's being Ashley, and Chris is being Chris, trying to stop his crying ass, baby ass wife. Okay. When Chris was having to physically try to prevent, girl, I was like, Chris, is he abusive? The fact that Candace would not get up and leave with Chris because Chris has to consistently take his child out of the movie theater when she's crying. And it's crazy. Okay, it's crazy that even Giselle, like, Ashley did not start that fight last year. Candace made issue with she didn't, but she wrote that statement. She got involved, and she said Ashley was being a vindictive bitch by getting involved in the legal shit. But I'm like, it's so aggravating to have to keep reliving last year. It's so aggravating to have to rehash last year. I feel like that shit should matter now. Monique ain't on the show no more. No one went to jail. Like Candace is living another day to be a bitch. Who cares? Who cares? It's so dumb to me. And I'm like, if this would have not asked Chris shit, maybe no fight would have happened because they ended their restaurant. They in this restaurant where Chris is having to physically try to restrain Candace, okay, and make her leave, and she won't. And you see, it's like, what is going on here? Okay, to where you're having to be physically restrained, physically moved because your husband just wants you to stop fighting. Because as she's talking to Abby, Candace is getting more and more upset. She's getting more and more pissed based on what Ashley did last season. I'm like, why the fuck are we even discussing last season? Why? Why? Okay, and because she won't get up and leave, Chris gets up and leave. Chris like fuck this shit. Chris is tired. Okay, I did my shit, boss. I'm leaving. So he leaves, and I'm like, girl. And when they say you go check on, Chris, and she says her confessional, Candace does, how Ashley needs to be concerned with her husband because he could be anywhere. I'm like, girl, your husband, where's your husband? He ain't here either. I just can't. I cannot. It's like, and then when Candace said, no, I think Wendy then said, well, it was supposed to be good vibes only. What happened to good vibes only? Candace then said, well, she, being an athlete, could suck my dick. I'm like, you did not just tell someone to suck your dick in this restaurant full of people. Girl. And Ashley responds, you don't have a dick. You may have an oversized clit, but you don't have no dick. And I was like, girl, no. And then Candace said, well, no, that's your friend. She points to Mia. See, Mia wasn't even talking. See, why are you fucking with Mia? She not even involved. She minded her business over there. Girl, I cannot. Now, Dre go to look for Chris. Okay, Chris outside like, look, I'm tired of this shit. I am so tired of things. This happens every fucking time. It's annoying. They won't move on, including my wife will not move the fuck on, and it's tiring. It's tiring. Okay, and I was like, girl, and they're all saying how Candace says the stupidest shit. She says outlandish things. You never know what she will say. And Mia then said, how Candace, you can't complain about how anyone else act because you act out of character too. Shut up, Mia. Just sit there, you're a benefactor. Okay. G said, well, first of all, I'm a cat fan. Okay. I'm happy she made me. Okay. He then said, did Chris take an Uber somewhere? I was like, bitch, Dr. Chris take an Uber. When she go find Chris or whatever, he like, look, you need to let shit go. I am tired. You need to let shit go. But we then see they come back to the table, whatever, fine. But we then see Giselle, Robin, and Ashley having a conversation, mainly saying how, one, we're not gonna let Candace blame Ashley for the fight last season. Okay, that's not gonna do that. Ashley brings up her main issue is about again the fight last year, but we see Candace ain't learned shit based on how he trying to fight Leah. So that's her issue. But girl, that ain't the time, Ashley. Leave it the fuck be. And then when Giselle say it's like she didn't learn anything from last year. Okay, and then Robin said, yeah, it's like she was asking for it. I'm like, oh, really? And this is what aggravates me. Y'all only sided with Candace last year because y'all didn't like Monique. The same shit is happening now, and y'all are now all against Candace, saying that she's doing too much or whatever, and like she's asking for it. But last year, y'all had no sympathy for Monique and what Candace did to her. But now y'all see, oh, Candace does things like she's asking for a fight. Get out of my face. Anyway, that was the episode. I hope y'all enjoyed my review. Look, I said what I said, and I love you all. I'm gonna leave it at that. I will see y'all when I see y'all. Peace.